I'll call this monthly board meeting of the Shell Rock River Watershed District to order. Roll call, please.
Manager Hanson.
Here.
Manager Bakken.
Here.
Manager Pistorius.
Here.
Manager Delger.
Here.
Manager Kramer.
Here.
Manager Pasuski.
Here.
And we will move to oath of office. County Administrator Janice Franson.
Okay. I would ask that the two newly appointed managers stand. Okay, and just insert your own name. I,
Alan Buckman, McDilger,
having been appointed a manager of the Shell Rock River Watershed District,
have been appointed manager of the Shell Rock River Watershed. Raise your hand.
okay, do hereby swear or affirm
Do hereby swear and affirm
to support the constitutions of the United States
support the Constitution of the United States
and the state of Minnesota,
and the state of Minnesota,
to discharge faithfully
to discharge faithfully
the duties of Watershed District Manager
the duties of Watershed District Manager
according to law
according to law,
and to the best of my judgment and ability.
to the best of my judgment and ability.
Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Would entertain a motion from the floor that a vote for officers be cast by either written ballot or roll call. Care to make a motion?
Yeah, let's do that.
Gary does.
Someone care to make a motion?
So moved. I'll second.
There we go. Any other discussion?
Mr. Chair, so the motion was for a roll call vote?
Yep.
Okay.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Okay, elections will now be taken by roll call as desired by the Board of Managers. Nominations are now in order from the floor for the office of Chair. Okay, nominations for Chair are in order.
I'd like to nominate Mick Delger.
Okay. Manager Delger is nominated for the position of Chair. Are there any further nominations? Are there any further nominations? Are there any further nominations? If not, nominations are now closed. Leah, please call the roll.
Aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
Manager Delger has been elected to the office of Chair. Do you accept?
I accept.
Manager Delger has accepted the office of Chair. Congratulations.
Thanks, Janice.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'll turn the meeting over to you.
Okay, thank you. Wow. So now I entertain a motion for the vice chair. Would somebody like to make a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I nominate Gary Pistorius for vice chair.
Do I have a second?
Second.
So then, okay, then, let's call a roll call. Are we that?
3 times.
Oh, yeah, right, we gotta see if anybody else wants to. Is there any other nominations for vice chair? Is there any other nominations for vice chair? Any other nomination for vice chair? Hearing none, Leah, please call roll.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right.
Motion carried, so we'll go on to, let's see, treasurer. Would somebody like to make a nomination for the treasurer?
I'll nominate Al Bakken for treasurer.
Okay, do I have a second for Al Bakken?
Second.
Second by Manager Pasuski. Are there any other nominations?
Sorry.
Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Hearing none, will you please call roll?
Aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
Okay, I'd entertain a motion for the secretary.
Mr. Chairman, I'll nominate Brad Kramer.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any other nominations for treasurer?
Secretary.
Secretary, yeah, we did that already. Any other nominations for secretary? Are there any other nominations for secretary? Hearing none, will you please call roll?
Aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
So that will close the nominations for the positions in the watershed. And we'll go on to item number 4, which is the public hearing. The OR/IC&E watershed restoration. Open the meeting.
Mr. Chair, we need to open the public hearing.
Okay, opening the public meeting. Anybody like to speak on this item? Is there anybody from the public that would like to speak on this item? Third and final time, is there anyone from the public that would like to speak? Hearing none. I will close.
Excuse me, could we have just a little update on it at this time, or isn't that possible?
We'll have the update down in, under item 9.
Yes.
We'll give the
Thank you.
updates on the project.
Other than that, we'll close the meeting and open it up to the regular meeting. Item number, we got public forum again. That's open. Oh, is there anybody from the public that would like to speak? Anyone from the public would like to speak? Anyone from the public like to speak? No one from the public. Item number 6, motion to approve all of the agenda.
So
Are there any
moved.
Additions, corrections, or deletions?
So moved.
Second.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Change, we do have a change, a wording change under item 9, C. Instead of motion to approve, I would like to change the wording to motion to enter into. That is all the changes that I have, or corrections that I have for the agenda, Mr. Chair.
So I had a first and I had a second.
Yep.
Any more discussion? Hearing none, will you please call roll?
Aye.
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 We'll go on to item number 7, consent agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as is?
So moved.
Second.
I have a first and I have a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, will you please call roll?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Okay, with that, we'll go to item number 8, Administrator Andy Henschel.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. First item on my list is committee discussions. Again, this will be a committee list that is sent out to you. With the number of committees that we have, we usually try to switch people throughout those committees. But as you know, every year we bring this up, it always seems that nobody wants to be on the committees. So we will be sending that committee list out to you guys, but please look at it, because for the September board meeting, we'll see if there's any changes to those committees that need to be made or wanted to be made by individuals on the board. Maybe they want off one committee and on another committee or something, so just look at it, see what you'd like to get on, or maybe get off because you've been on it for a while. So just look that over, and then next month, we will make any changes to those committee lists. Item B is an office update. Again, as most of you know, our office was flooded and is basically in demo mode, and it is not being repaired at this time due to the lack of insurance from our from our leasee. As you know, we've also temporarily moved offices. We are located at 305 First Avenue South. We moved in last week, so we are pretty much in the office fully. We still have a few issues with copiers, some stuff like that we're working out. We do have a sign on the old office door telling about our relocation. Right now, we're kind of just working on getting desks, furniture back into our office because most of that was all ruined as well by the flood. So that is the update at this time. We are also working with the building committee, working on a long-term site location so that we don't keep running into this flooding issue at the old office. And you'll be hearing more from both myself and the building committee as we move forward with that. Any questions on the building update? Hearing none, I'll move to item C. This is out-of-state travel request. This is, again, part of our rules of the board. If we have any travel that is outside the state of Minnesota, that we need to bring that to the board for permission to go. And as you know, are seen in the handout, MOD's summer tour is up in the Red River Valley, and this includes the Fargo area. So most of the flooding in Fargo quite a bit, but most of the program and the hotel and stuff is in Fargo, North Dakota. So again, we're asking the board for permission for out-of-state travel to the MOD summer tour.
We need a vote.
I need a motion for out-of-state.
So moved.
By
I'll
Suski,
second.
seconded by Kramer. Any discussion? Hearing none, Leah, please call roll.
Aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
And just a last note on that, if there's any managers that would like to attend this, it is open up to managers. So just let me know if you are interested, and we can get you the hotel room and the agenda for those dates.
What were the dates again?
August 23rd through the 25th.
Who from the staff is going?
Right now, I believe it's just myself.
Okay. Anything else?
That is all I have, Mr. Chair.
Okay, with that, we'll go on to item number 9, Project Program Manager Courtney Phillips.
I feel like I'm back at the city with a hot seat here.
Huh?
The first item I have is a resolution 2022-09 or wetland restoration and IC&E wetland enhancement part 2 plan approval. Per Al's request, a little bit of a status update of this. This is dealing with the County Ditch 54 that is east of Alden, approximately 2 miles. We are working on this project with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. Being the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service and the Shell Rock own ground in that location and that we're looking at doing wetland restoration work, we submitted a petition to Freeborn County for abandonment and reroute of that CD 54 system. We are approving the plans today just so that we can keep our process moving because we do have the public hearing process and plan approval. So this allows us to move forward. We are hoping that we can do some berm creation and wetland scrapes this fall yet, just so that we can get money out the door and start spending those funds, and that doesn't deal with actually having to break the tile. So just approving these plans now gives us the authority to move forward. You will see they are not signed right now. They are pretty much final plans, but if there is any changes as a result of the petition process with CD 54, we'll let you know if there's any significant changes, but we don't see that at this time.
Okay, do I have a motion for Resolution 2022-9?
So moved.
By Manager Hanson, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Pasuski. Any discussion? Would you please read the resolution?
Resolution 2022-09, Plan Approval, Part 2, or Wetland Restoration and IC&E Wetland Enhancement. Whereas the Shell Rock River Watershed District Board of Managers pursues the mission of implementing reasonable and necessary improvements to the water-related and other natural resources within its boundaries. Whereas the Shell Rock River Watershed District is charged with implementing the Shell Rock River Watershed District Watershed Management Plan. Whereas project goals and objectives set forth in the plan include improve water quality and clarity to district lakes, improve and enhance waterfowl habitat, maintain efficient systems and reduce transport of sediment, nutrients, and pesticides into surface water through the drainage systems, minimize flood damage to property and preserve the function of the floodplain, restore and retain water upstream throughout the watershed, preserve existing rural and urban wetlands, and encourage restoration and enhancement. Whereas the district has 2 projects with parcels located in close proximity to each other, and the overall scope encompasses work and engineering over all 2 projects for a better cumulative result to accomplish wetland management and water flow. Whereas the 2 parcels are 1, or wetland restoration initiated on November 10, 2020 by Resolution 2020-19, and 2, IC&E wetland enhancement initiated on November 10, 2020 by Resolution 2020-20. Whereas the project plan encompasses integrated design plan and water flow and wetland management for both projects or wetland restoration and an IC&E wetland enhancement. Whereas the Board of Managers, having reviewed the project plan, has determined that the approval of the project plan will further the objectives of the plan. Whereas the district has pursued a comprehensive watershed approach to reduce sedimentation and improve water quality, including filter strips, rock inlets, nutrient management systems, water and sediment basin installations, rough fish management practices, installation of fish barriers, septic system inspections, stream bank and ditch restoration projects, and the installation of rain guards. Therefore, the Board of Managers hereby finds the project has the potential to promote the public interest and welfare, is practicable, and conforms to the watershed management plan as set forth above. Now therefore be it resolved that the Shell Rock River Watershed District, Section 1, approves Project Plan Part 2 as presented by ISG, and 2, authorizes district staff to conduct work as needed to present this project to the board for final review and public hearing as required by law. Dated August 9th, 2022.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, will you please call roll?
Aye.
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 Thank you. So the next item is Resolution 2022-10, or Wetland Restoration and IC&E Wetland Enhancement Part 2 Establishment. Again, following the rules of Watershed District's order, we have public hearings, plans, and then establishment of projects. So I'm looking for a motion so I can read the resolution for establishment.
So moved.
By Manager Hanson, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Manager Kramer. Would you please read the resolution?
Yes, Resolution 2022-10, Establishment Projects. Project 2020-04, or Wetland Restoration, and Project 2020-05, IC&E Wetland Enhancement Part 2. Whereas the Shell Rock River Watershed District Board of Managers pursues the mission of implementing reasonable and necessary improvements to the water-related and other natural resources within its boundaries. Whereas the Shell Rock River Watershed District is charged with implementing the Shell Rock River Watershed District Watershed Management Plan. Whereas the district has 2 projects with parcels located in close proximity to each other, and the overall scope of work encompasses work and engineering over the 2 projects for a better cumulative result to accomplish wetland management and water flow. Whereas the 2 parcels are 1, or wetland restoration, initiated on November 10th, 2020 by Resolution 2020-19, and IC&E wetland enhancement initiated on November 10th, 2020 by Resolution 2020-20. Whereas the plan encompasses integrated design, plan, and water flow and wetland management for both projects or wetland restoration and IC&E wetland enhancement. Whereas the Board of Managers, having reviewed the project plan, has determined that the approval of the project plan will further the objectives of the plan. Whereas the project plan was forwarded to the Board of Water and Soil Resources and the Department of Natural Resources for the review and comment. Bowser comments were received by a letter dated May 27, 2022, and DNR comments were received on July 5, 2022. Whereas on August 9, 2022, by Resolution 2022-09, the Board of Managers approved the specifications for the project, the final project plan. Whereas a public hearing was held on August 9, 2022, to review the project plan. Therefore, the Board of Managers hereby finds that the proposed OR wetland restoration and IC&E wetland enhancement has the ability to promote the public interest and welfare in conformity with the watershed management plan as set forth above. Now therefore, be it hereby resolved that the Shell Rock River Watershed District hereby, Section 1, establishes project number 2020-04 or wetland restoration and project number 2020-05 IC&E wetland enhancement. Section 2 authorizes district staff to complete the project as set forth in the project plan, and Section 3 authorizes the district staff to obtain quotes, requests for approvals, and enter into any other agreements or contracts necessary to complete the project, dated August 9th, 2022.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, will you please call roll?
Aye.
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 Resolution passes.
Thank you. Item number 3 is a motion to enter into a snow fence easement. The snow fence easement is going to be with the Minnesota Department of Transportation. This is regarding that OR piece that we purchased using Lessard-Sam's funding. After acquisition of that parcel, MnDOT approached us and wanted to continue snow fences that were in that area along the interstate. There are issues with wind fetch and ice that has led to a couple of crashes. We have reached out to Lessard-Sam's, and it's been approved that we could use that parcel for a living snow fence easement. So this is going to be native trees and such, not like fencing. And so we have the easement. One thing that we have to be considerate of is we are going to be donating this parcel to the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service when we are done with the restoration. And so we need to make sure that they're okay with the easement as well. They have seen this easement. They're still in the process of reviewing it. There has been one round of revisions already that U.S. Fish and Wildlife has made. So that's why we're entering into this agreement. It is not, we won't sign it until U.S. Fish and Wildlife signs off on it, so there's no issues when we transfer the property. So that's why we're looking for a motion to enter into it when it is complete.
Do I have a motion? Manager Pasuski, do I have a second?
Second.
By Manager Kramer. Any discussion? Hearing none, will you please
That's
call-
excellent coordination, working together with MnDOT and Watershed District and U.S. Fish.
Oh, I will point out that we are donating the property. There's not going to be any transfer of funds. We're donating that area. It's just, we don't feel it's right, being that the state purchased the ground once, that we are not, it's going to be a free donation to MnDOT for the easement location.
So that's permanent?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so just to clarify, that piece of property was purchased through Lessard-Sam's with Lessard-Sam's dollars. It was staff's recommendation that, the state's already bought it once, no need for the state to buy it twice. We feel that by including MnDOT having the ability to put the snow fence, it just makes that property more valuable in all different aspects. One, for public safety, for the interstate, and then also for the wetland restoration we can do on it and the habitat restoration. So it's a win-win.
Yep.
Any other discussion? Will you please call roll?
Aye.
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 Motion carried.
Aye.
Thank you. The last item I have is a street sweeper update. As you recall, we applied for a clean water partnership loan with the MPCA for helping the city purchase street sweeping equipment. That is still in the queue. However, we came up with a Bowser Board of Soil and Water Resources Project and Practices grant that's funded through their clean water funding. And so we are submitting an application. I should say I am helping the city write it. The city will be the ones who are actually submitting the application, and this is going to be for the purchase of three street sweeping pieces of equipment. The The request is going to be a little bit over $600,000. So just wanted to keep that in mind, that the Shell Rock is kind of donating time to helping write this grant, and hopefully that the city gets it. If they do not receive the Bowser grant, then we will move forward with the Clean Water Partnership loan, and that was both the Shell Rock and the city that entered into that. So just providing an update on that.
I think it's a good idea. That street sweeper makes a big difference.
And actually, if they get the Bowser grant, they'll be saving the city dollars, because their contribution would only be 25% of the total cost. The city decided that they would go a little bit above 25% of the cost of the equipment just to make it look better in the application. So if they do get the project in practice as a grant, it will actually be saving the city a significant amount of funds.
It keeps your project cleaner. Our project, I should say.
Yeah. So yes, I've been working with the city and probably annoying them all week, asking them questions about their street sweeping. And I will tell you, it removes way more phosphorus than I ever thought possible, just with the pure cubic yards of debris and leaves that they collect. So it's a district initiative. It's in our water plan to upgrade that equipment. So we think it's a good thing.
The city, and they've been keeping their people, keeping the gutters clean, the stuff where it all goes in.
Yep, so I found out that the city does curb to curb, so like actually the whole street 4 times per year on roughly 132 miles of streets, so that's times 2, because there's 2 sides of every street. And the gutters, which is the one pass by the actual gutters, gets significantly more. And they roughly have about 1.13 FTEs throughout the year in the equipment. And that's mostly just between, May 15th to the October 15th or, into November. So they do a lot. They have basically, whenever they have a body available, they have someone in those pieces of equipment. So it's looking at a pneumatic sweeper, a mechanical sweeper, and a leaf blower are the 3 pieces of equipment. So all definitely needed, and the district supports the project. Thank you.
Thank you. That will go on to item 10. Are there any manager items?
No. I can't resist.
Pardon me? Go ahead,
There's a stormwater pond going in where the old Godfather's Pizza was, and then there's some rain gardens around Elberly. So I don't know if the city has a maintenance plan on some of these or not, but I don't know if there's a rain garden down by our new building lease, or Andy, is that a rain garden or?
Yeah, that is a rain garden that we did in conjunction with MnDOT at the time,
Okay.
and the city of Upperley. So
I just like to see, like, the one down by Moran Park. I don't know if, I haven't looked at it today, but last time I looked at it, need a little work. So it'd be nice if there was a maintenance plan for these, or whoever's going to take care of them, or volunteers or whatever. So, thank you.
Any other manager items? Hearing none, we'll go to item 11. Board meeting next September 13th. I think Andy was asking for everybody to sign up for committee.
yeah, look over the committee list. One note to that meeting: I will not be present at that meeting, so I will have Courtney probably in my staff. Just so the board knows, I will not be at that meeting. I will be fishing in Canada.
That's too bad.
Need anybody else for that trip?
We got 16 of us going.
Oh.
With that, if there's nothing else, entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
Second, motion Hanson and Suski. Leah, please call roll. Thank you.
Aye.
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 We are adjourned.